Good afternoon, it's John McLaughlin. Welcome to another Crossfire strategy trading session. It's just before 1 p.m. in the UK, and we're going to be trading the Euro CAD, GBP, in fact I'll put Euro on the other side, Euro CAD, Euro USD, GBP CAD and GBP USD. Let me just change in there. Euro CAD, Euro USD. There we go. Euro CAD, Euro USD. Good. Right, so what I'm going to do, just give you a quick synopsis of what happened yesterday. Bit of a weird day yesterday in terms of when we started the session at 1300. Yeah, very slow. So what you can see here, this, and in fact, let me go to the Euro CAD first. Very similar kind of story with all pairs. So this is our session. Okay, so we've got 1300 here. And price, I say what we're looking at doing with this strategy is we're looking at price to go above the green trend line, and I'm going to show you exactly how to put those on. Above the green trend line for a buy and below the red trend line for any potential sells. And this is the 15-minute time frame. What you can see here when you kind of zoom out a little bit is you can see just a lot of sideways rotation, right? Consolidation. Okay. And when you kind of scalp in, when you're looking at trades, getting in potential trades, and it's consolidating, my best advice is to stay out. Remember, all we want to be doing is we're going to be taking good trades, not just any old trade. Okay, so we measured these from the trend line, from potential areas where we could get into the trade, and there just wasn't enough volume. There just wasn't enough volume in it. We did a little bit of a test trade to see where we could have gone, and I'll show you that in a second. So what happens after consolidation? You get a move in a particular direction, and the move for this one was here. 7 o'clock UK time, the price went up, and I did say on the session that really what we want to be doing, if we're going to be looking for buys, we want the price, see this blue line here is the 200 moving average. We want the price to go above and clear the 200 moving average before we get confirmation really that the price wants to go up. Okay, and that's what it did here. It actually shot there, and again, this is excuse me, potentially news. So it's the banks again manipulating the markets for themselves and pushing the price up. So the price shot up to there. Okay, it kind of went down, it consolidated, and then I think it went kind of sideways from there. Yeah, I mean there was some good potential trades to take. But as you can see with the pivots, okay, it went from the pivot line up here to, I think this is resistance. Yeah, resistance 1. Okay, so you can see how these pivots work, and you can also see how the points of interest work. This blue line here, I put these blue lines on yesterday just as conservative potential take profit levels if the price got above the 200. And you can see price obviously shot past there because we're looking at potential manipulation. I didn't actually check the news because I wasn't trading at that time, but price came down, almost touched our point of interest. Okay, then it did its thing, and then what it's done, it's kind of come back again, settling around this kind of area right now. And where we are now, price is broken, and it's kind of hovering at this point of interest that we put on from yesterday. So once we put the trend lines on, we'll have some idea of what's going to happen. Again, this is it was a 15-minute time frame. Anyway, the prices are the thing is very similar on there. Okay. Areas of imbalance. This area of imbalance here, which has been active for 2 days, is still active. So we'll leave that on the chart. And then when we put our lines on, our trend lines, then I'll take these points of interest. I might leave them on because it's still going to be relevant for the price for the day. So let's have a look at Euro USD. Let's see what that did. Okay, very similar situation. Again, yesterday's trading, we had some little bits of interest. We had this. Where's that going? Okay. Yeah, we had this one where we looked at getting in a potential sell, and that was this move down here, and that would have worked. But at the same time, there wasn't really enough. Excuse me. Wasn't really enough in it to go down to the 200 moving average. And then we had the sideways rotation, and we are below the green trend line, but again it's going sideways. And as I said, it's kind of the opposite to the Euro CAD, in that we want the price to go below the 200. Okay, to get that clear air. We got it there, but again we had a doji candle, kind of small volume, not a lot of volume here on the Wada Atar. And then again, once we got 7 o'clock, we'll get the price shot up all the way up to here, and then it's continued to go from this pivot line up to the next pivot line today, the R1 today. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen today. If we look at this on the hourly, we can sometimes get a good indication of where price has been previously. So previously, again, we've got previous highs up here. Okay, so we might even see a continuation to the upside, or again potentially coming back down to this area to take out again this imbalance here. Let me just see. I think it's been. Let's put him back on the 15. Yeah, that's still active, that imbalance. So be interesting day today, I think. I'd say it's Thursday, middle of the week, always a good day for trading, kind of middle of the when sort of Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are always the best days to trade. So let's have a look at GBP CAD. Again, this was our day yesterday. There's again 1900, similar situation, and you can see, look, you've got what you've got here. You've got the imbalance. Okay, now obviously this is manipulation, so it kind of all the rules kind of go out the window, because you can't control banks dumping billions into the market. But you've got all this clear air from here to, and obviously you've got the imbalance. But looking at the green moving average here, the 62 and then the 200, we've got room for a nice move. So we didn't. I don't think we got into a trade yesterday, and this imbalance now been mitigated. If all that imbalance has been mitigated, so we'll take that away, and we'll look at see what we've got. And again, price very similar to the last one, gone up, and it's continued to go up to R1 on the pivot. So we'll see what's going to happen today. Currently coming back down for the sell. GBP USD. Similar situation, again manipulation, or price went up at 1700 after this sideways rotation, after the consolidation, and it's now gone up to R2. Okay, so interesting times, and this imbalance, I think this is imbalance I put on ages ago. Yeah, we'll take that out. Okay, so 15-minute time frame. We'll start from the Euro CAD. I like to go left to right. Right, so we've got a vertical line. We want that on the 1300, and then we want a couple of trend lines to go on. I'll put it. Oh, don't put it all the way across. I did that yesterday. We'll put it to somewhere around there. That's good. That's good enough. Okay, so we can put these trend lines on at 1315. What I'll do, yeah, let's go and have a quick look at imbalance, see what we've got. We've got a bit here, look. In fact, let me take all these indicators off so you can see. Look at that, how nice and clean it is. Let's go and put some imbalance on here. If you get yourself a copy of TradingView, if you haven't yet got a copy of TradingView, you can do exactly the same as what I'm doing. The only limitation you've got with free accounts is that you can't put as many alerts on. I think you can only put one alert on. But I've got the Pro account, which is it's only $12.50 a month. So, and for what you can do on it, it's incredible. Okay, that's about it for imbalance. I might have a bit. No, we haven't got there. No, okay, good. Right, Euro USD on the 15-minute time frame. I think what we'll do right now is we'll take, they might be relevant, but for me. What's this? Oh yeah, okay. Put a trend line on there, and like you say, you can put what we got here? Imbalance. Yeah, that's well gone. You can put did I say alerts? You can put alerts on your trend lines. So again, you're not having to watch the charts all the time. Just set an alarm to go off. You get an email come through, or notification on your phone, or your desktop will start screeching at you, and you can come and see what's going on. Right, vertical line on the 1300. We'll put a couple of trend lines on. Right, imbalance. What have we got? A little bit here, a little bit here on the buys. Look, you can see that this is our point of interest from yesterday, and you can see our price is still respecting that. So I'll keep that on. I'll keep that on because it assists us with this particular price action right now. So imbalance from here. The only reason I put the I should really put this on a bit bigger. Only a tiny bit, but it's still there. Oh come on! There we go. And we've got imbalance here. So the imbalance only relates to the first and third candle. So there's no first or third candle there. This one should have been covering it, and that one should have been covering it. So that's imbalance. And you can get indicators to highlight the imbalance, but you know what? The more that you can learn without the need for indicators, the better trader you'll become, without a doubt. Use indicators, at start. There we go. There's a bit of imbalance there. So use the indicators to get you going, but just don't rely on other things other than your own skill, and learn that skill. Just develop it over time. A lot of people, when they start trading, they think, well, I just want to make money. Okay, we'll go get a job. So I've got a job. Okay, get a second job. So it's not. I'm not being funny. It's just you need to take the earning out of it and learn your trade first. It's like you're doing an apprenticeship. Yeah, nothing there. See, that's covered by the first and third. Only just, but it's still covered. And we've got loads of imbalance down here because of this. Right, we'll take this out, because that's gone. I've got one of these wireless keyboards that's also got a middle name of useless. Just seems to go off for some reason. Right, let's make this a bit bigger so I can see it. I'll tell you what we should have done. We should have taken the indicators off. It's me scowling to see this. Right, there we go. So imbalance to there, all the way to the top. That's it. And we've got a tiny bit there as well, so I'll put that on as well. Hang on. Hold your horses. Let's put this on first. Just to there. Yeah, that'll do. Right, 1309. So we've got a few minutes yet. What am I doing here? That's it. Right, we won't put too many labels on it because obviously we know that's imbalance. We know what it is. We got any more there? Yeah, no, we've got that. Good, that's that. And our trend lines are ready. US dollar plunges early Thursday after FOMC shifts towards cuts. Busy day ahead. Yeah, busy day today. Right, GBP CAD. Let's just take our noise off. Look at that, doing like a clean chart. Right, so this imbalance, again, just looking, you can see how price went to the bottom, okay, and then price then pushed to the top of that imbalance and also to the pivot line. But it's interesting, you know, when you put these things on and price starts to respect it, you then start to understand the correlation or the relationship between different things. Okay, imbalance, what does it mean? What does it mean for price? Okay, and you don't get that when you put tons of indicators on. You're just looking at colours, and people say, well, when the colour changes from red to green, that's when you get in. Yeah, but what's the relationship? What's going on? What's making the candle change from red to green? And that's what you want to be doing when you're trading. You want to be learning all this sort of stuff. And it takes time, but you know, if you just lead with that thought process, okay, what is changing the markets? What's causing that? What's the relationship between currency pairs and all this sort of thing? And you'll develop into a good trader. Okay, it's like anything in life. Right, that one is that's actually gone, but interestingly, the new imbalance is just near it. The only reason I put the imbalance there is so I can see it to the wick. Just makes it a tiny bit more accurate. Right. Alright, I've got 3 minutes before we put the trend lines on. Nothing around here. Okay. That's us, I think. GBP USD. That's not us. On a 15-minute time frame. And the other thing I was going to say today is that I've checked the news, and as always, 13:30 we've got loads of news coming in, all USD. So we're going to see a big price move, and I would imagine after that huge bullish move, the move upwards, we're going to possibly see a reversal, but we'll see. Okay, thanks for that. Right, so that imbalance has gone. I'm going to take these off. That's better. That's better. I'll take this off as well. Right, so line at 1300. A couple of trend lines on. A little bit of imbalance here, look. Just wondering if it might be easy with that. No. See, as we're putting this imbalance on, just leave it off, because it looks like price is going to go to the downside anyway. Again, this imbalance is just very similar to what we've just put on the previous one. There, and have we got any there? Got a tiny bit here, look. There we go. Right, it is time. It's 13:15, so let's get these trend lines on. Right, so what we've got the two trend lines. We've got our 1300 candle, and we want the higher high next to it, which is the red candle that you can just see. Always put the magnet tool on, stick it on there, and the lower low next to this one. If you put your crosshairs on, it's the big candle there. So there's a tiny little wick on there, so we'll just put that to there, and just to there. A lot of people ask, do you have to put it exactly? Do you have to like really zoom in and get it perfect? We'll get it near as, okay, but we've found that it doesn't make a huge difference. As I was saying yesterday, as long as the price starts to respect the lines, gives you more confidence about what things are doing. Okay, there we go. There's the first one. So we've got the next one is GBP CAD. I can say it's going to be a bullish, a bearish day today, I think. Magnet tool on. Where's the higher high for this one? It's a 1300 candle, so it's the one just next to it. Just there. The lower low. There we go. So just in the middle of the candle, because there's no wick on it, and just on top of that tiny little wick there. There we go. Put that on the 2 minutes. 2 minutes. There we go. Right, Euro USD, on that, put the magnet tool on the higher high, which is there, and the lower low. So we're looking at this candle just there, that wick, just there, look. So again, no wick, so it goes through the middle of the body. And then on top, tiny wick. There we go. Put it on the 2 minutes. We'll put our clouds back on, and our custom-made, straightforward Forex indicator. That's back on. I think we've got imbalance here that needs taking away as well. Let's bang it back on the 15. Yes. Do we just? Yeah, of course we did. We put it on, didn't we? Put it on too early because the price has gone. Anyway, that's gone. These points of interest, I'll take these off as well. Right, that's good. On to the 2 minute. There we go. Right, look, the price is starting to move already. So let's just bang these on. High high. And the lower low. Lower low is going to be horizontal because it's the lowest point since the start of the session. So we're just going to click it, drag it somewhere near. We'll click our shift key, remove the mouse and remove shift key, and it puts it on level. Right, 2 minutes, and we'll take that off and we'll put our indicators back on. Yeah, that's it. Right. So currently, we've got price above. It's happening quick today. Price is already above the, is it? Yeah, yes, it was above the green trend line. We want price to go above the green trend line to consider for buys. But right now we've got the 62 and the 200 moving average kind of close together. And what I want from that, I want a bit of clear air and a nice little gap. Okay, we haven't quite got there yet, and now it's straddling it. So we're going to wait again for the close of this candle. We've got another minute, so let's go and have a look at another pair. Similar situation again with this one on the Euro US dollar. Just remember that we've got a lot of news coming in. You don't have to put these on, but I always like to put these on. In fact, I tell you what, I won't. Let me take that off. I'll just put the line on the news, because we can see the news. We don't have to put like it's high news. I mean, we're not that dumb. Well, I might be. Right, so yeah, same sort of thing. It's above the line. Okay, it's above the trend line. So yeah, we're going, okay, let's have a look at potential buys, but it's straddling all these different moving averages. Okay, so there's a lot of resistance there. We have got a point of interest up here, and also we've got our pivot line up here. Okay, so we'll just look at that in a bit. But again, because we've got all this news coming up in like 9 minutes, we're staying out of that. We're staying out of that completely. Okay, so this imbalance we just put on, it's gone already. So we'll just get rid of that. Clear up the chart. Okay. And where we are right now with this is what we call no man's land. It's in the middle of this wedge, and where if price ever finds itself in the middle of the wedge, just stay out of it completely. Okay, so we've still got. I tell you what, I'll keep that imbalance on because it's a good illustrator. All right. I know it's on my 2 minute, but so let's see if it should still be the same for the 15. Yeah, we'll leave this on. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so we're in this no man's land. Like I say, it's like putting a bit of steel in between two opposing magnets. The kind of price doesn't really know what it wants to do until you get some decent volume. And you can see from here on the WAD Atar that on these moves, we've got these nice big strong moves. We've got the explosion line moving away from the dead zone. But now it's kind of meandering. Okay, it's not really going sideways, but it's not really offering a lot of volume in the market. And again, consolidation before news. Even though we've got Canadian, this is Canadian, pound Canadian, but everything is kind of linked to the news at 13:30. So we'll put a line on. There we go. Because there will be a move in the direction. You can see that's the same, kind of going sideways, and we're just going to stay out until the news passes. Like I always say, it's like somebody chucking a flamethrower in, you know, and or actually before the news kicks in, it's almost like somebody is stood there just kind of threatening with this flamethrower, you know. Okay, anytime it's going to happen, anytime, you're just going to stay out. You're not even going to try, you know, get your chances, hedge your chances. So you can see from here where price is. We've got the 62, that's where it is right now. We've got the 200 moving average, we've got the 5, and we've got the 13. They're all pretty much bunched up together, which is never a great sign, because you can never sort of say where price may or may not go. We're above the green trend line, but that's about the only thing we've got going for us at the minute. The WAD Atar is showing that it's darker on the histogram, so if it's darker, it's showing slightly more strength for a potential buy, but it's not there's not a huge lot of volume in this. The explosion line is moving away from the dead zone. Okay, so in terms of a probability stack, it's not looking too bad, but not too great either. So we've got a wave up here. So again, it's kind of telling us we'll look out for buys. The PSAR is below the candle, okay, and there's a fair distance away. So this, if we look at this, our next point of interest would be somewhere around, I would say conservatively about here, okay. And again, the way you put these on, I'm looking at these two candles here, okay. So what I've done in that, what I'm looking at is I'm looking at these two candles here, okay, because that's the top of their body. I'm looking at these candles here where they've kind of touched it. So I've got all these different taps. I like that. Okay, I've got, see how price went down, and then it went up to there and then bounced off, and it bounced off. So that for me is an area of interest on this particular time frame. Okay, and then from here you've got these areas up here which is just slightly up. So what I'm saying is that you've got these areas, and if we were to take, let me put the crosshairs back on, makes me feel better. These areas here up to there, so you've got 11 pips. So that it's one of them. It's one of those things where you go, is it a great trade? No, it isn't. Okay, if we were to get in for a buy, it's not a great trade. Okay, and when you consider what we can potentially make on that, so what we're looking for is we're looking for a 1 to 2 risk to reward. So based on where we're going to put our stop losses potentially, this is, you're never going to get a 1 to 2 with this. And also when you consider broker spread, which is how much your broker takes, and if you go onto your MT4, MT5, whatever you use, it will tell you the spread. Okay, so the spread varies at different times, so it's always worth checking your spread before you go into a trade, so you know how much you're going to get charged, and you can factor that into your take profit levels. Okay, but nothing really happening right now. And I say we've got the news coming up. This is it 13:44? So we've got 2 minutes away from the US news. Yeah, 13:45. We've got Euro news. High impact. Right, so we'll look at GBP CAD. Same sort of thing. Currently in no man's land. We're not interested in taking anything. If we sort of discussed where price could potentially go, well, we've got this big area here. We've got this big area here of imbalance. Let's bring that back so I can see it. Big area of imbalance here. Price may well want to come back to this level, but we'll get a better idea of the price action a little bit later. Okay, when price does its thing. Right now, it's just hit this trend line, and like you say, when you put your trend line in that position, okay, you might be asking, okay, do these trend lines really work? Is the strategy really working? Okay, well, you can tell from there that the price is respecting the trend line because the trend line is now resisting. Okay, it's offering resistance to that price. So tapped it there. Okay, tapped it, touched it perfectly here. I mean, that's great. That touched all the way up. And I know we just put it on, but this happens day after day after day. Okay, these relationships with these prices and the strategy works, no doubt about that. Oh yeah, GBP USD. So it's still straddling the trend line, and obviously for a buy it's the wrong colour. So let's say this carries on. We get the clearer like it's just done. Okay, and there we go. It's the news. Yeah, it's the news. What I was going to say, we get the clear air, okay, then it starts to move down. Then what we've got quite a significant gap between there and the 200 moving average. So if we looked at that, say for instance, where you've got 20 odd pips, and you've also, it's quite close to the pivot line, this would have been nice if it weren't in news to get in for a sell. But again, you know, we're looking at markets being manipulated, so we just stay out of it. So look at the Euro USD. Yeah, it's moving, but nothing quite as significant as yesterday. Remember yesterday where we looked at it and the price just went bang, almost to the second. Well, it was to the second when as soon as the news came in, you know. So you're battling with sophisticated banking algorithms, trading algorithms. You can't beat them. Well, there are certain ways you can. There's certain ways you can trade around it, but it's not for this. Not for this session. So yeah, look at the Wadarata again. It's showing strength. The explosion line kind of came towards the dead zone. Now it's starting to slightly move away, but that's kind of insignificant because we know it's all manipulation. So let's just have a look at the GBP CAD. Similar situation on that, and you see how it's taken. It's just down to the imbalance. Okay, almost perfectly to the pip. Look at that, to the pip. And GBP USD, it's all the same story, all the way across the board with these four pairs. So when we get a trade in our favour, the best practice is to only take a trade where you trade in one of each pair. Okay. So you might think, well, okay, if we take a trade and it's a real big one on GBP USD, would we then go in for Euro USD? And ideally you wouldn't, okay, because if you get two wins, then great, well done. Okay, you're going to get a minimum 4% growth if you do 1 to 2 on both. However, you may well get a 2% loss because you're risking 1% on both as well. So you're looking at the first and overriding thought when you're trading is, how can I prevent losing money? How can I manage my account properly? And if you go in with that, like I said to you before, forget about profits. Profits are what get people greedy. Profits are what gets people emotionally involved, and profits are what kind of where most people lose money. Okay, you look at all the different crypto trading scams out there. They all entice people with the profits or the promise of profits. Okay, and people buy into that because they get emotionally attached to, well, look, I could make this, and my mate Dave is making this, so I'm going to do the same. And suddenly the whole thing collapses because it was never intended to pay you out. It was always intended to take money off you because they get you in emotionally. And you know, whatever you do in trading, if you do it with a very level ahead as you can. And I'll tell you what, when you first start trading, let me just skip through these while I'm yakking. When you first start trading, you will get emotionally involved, no doubt about it. Let's take some of these out. And you will throw your toys out the pram every so often, and you will think that, you know, if you have a run of losses, you think that the markets are manipulated against just you. Okay, nobody else. It's just me. There's a conspiracy against me, and then you start all sorts of different weird things. You lose a trade in one direction, so you trace it in the opposite direction, and it turns and goes back. And you know, we've all been there. We've all been in that situation where we've done all sorts of beginner stuff, and it's not your fault. It's just the way sometimes it goes. And I think sometimes it's good to go through those emotions. It's good to do it. So look at this one. This is the pound Canadian. Okay, it's going for the downside, and right now we've got 10 pips down to here. So looking at this is kind of setting up. This is kind of getting quite interesting, because if we put a trade on this, if we shorted on this one, we went to there, Okay. Now the only thing I've got here is that my stop loss, I kind of want my stop loss here, which, whoa, that's way too far away. That's not really going to work, because ideally I'd want my stop loss above the trend line for safety, and then for a 1 to 2 I'd need to come all the way down to here, which is crazy. Okay, so the numbers don't work on this one, even though it looks like a tasty trade. If I wanted to put my stop loss to here, then maybe I could take it down to there. I always say that it's always nice to do about 7 pips on this, but that's it's not going to work on this one. So I'll just bin that. Right. So we'll look at the GBP USD. So the price is the volume's kind of gone from the market at the moment. I've got an indecision candle here because price didn't know whether it was coming or going. Okay, so price comes up, price comes down, and then this candle with the big wick and the little body is called a doji candle. So it's like a Mavis candle. I don't really know. I don't know what to do. Not really sure. So it gives us that pattern. Either way, there's not a great lot of volume back down to. There's 12 pips. Right, look at Euro CAD. You can see how now that we've got doji candle, and then this one that's forming right now. So a lot of indecision. Price doesn't really know where it wants to go, but we've got this from here. Look, we've got a double bottom. So price has gone to the bottom, and it's broken structure on there. Okay, so it's come just past here. So price might want to, but then you're looking at the other thing as well. You're looking at all this imbalance. This imbalance is still there. Okay. So again, sort of discussing where price might want to go. It might want to continue down. Okay, take out the imbalance, and then go back up again. But again, we're just gotta bide the time and just see what's gonna happen. So we're currently in a wave down. We've got the PSARs at the top, but the distance between the PSARs and the candle is getting less. Okay, so that's kind of means that the volume at the moment there's no volume in the market. And again, that's probably because here we've got this high impact news on the euro. So you get this consolidation, and then we'll get a move in whatever direction. So on the euro, 6 minutes. There's no actual details of what it is, but it'll be doing something. So euro USD, again, we're kind of in the middle of nowhere. Probably just consolidating, ready for news. GBP CAD, similar situation. We're into the imbalance. So this imbalance is forming obviously a resistance area, and also so is the 200 moving average. So what have you got past that? Well, past that you've got the pivot and also the imbalance. So from here to the pivot we've got 20 pips. So if this continues and goes below the 200 moving average, we might be having a quick sniff at a sell, potentially. Right, let's come back to it. So this is the Euro CAD. I think now to get bigger glasses or a bigger monitor. I've got two 32-inch monitors. I think that should be enough. But right, so we've got price coming up to the green trend line, and we want price to continue above, but we want a gap. Okay, so that's just formed. Yeah, we've got 1 minute and 30 seconds on this 2 minute time frame. So the next thing we look at is, okay, if it goes above and it forms a gap, then where could price go to? Well, we've got resistance on this pivot. We've got resistance on the two moving averages. We've got resistance on the imbalance, which has now been taken out. So I'm going to get rid of that. It's kind of irrelevant now. And then we've got a nice bit of clear air to this pivot up here. So let's just see, we've got a minute left, so we can come back to that. Euro CAD. But again, the other thing I've got to consider is the news, okay, in 4 minutes. Same situation there. And you can guarantee, don't guarantee many things, but you can guarantee that come 13:45, price will be heading off in some direction like a crazy banshee. All right. Yeah, same sort of thing. GBP CAD. Yeah, it's not really doing anything. It's just kind of meandering. It's taken out this imbalance log. So we showed that before. Went into consolidation. It's trying to move up, but again, we've got so much resistance with the moving averages and the trend lines, and it's like trying to work your way through rush hour traffic. And if you look at the Wadarata, look at the volume there now. The volume's dropped out currently, and it's still showing us. In fact, the histogram is way into the dead zone. So, you know, winner wave down as well. PSARs is showing red. So everything is kind of saying it's either a sell or nothing. GBP/USD, similar situation, wave down, red PSARs. See these candles here? That's red. It's still red. Wadarata, nothing's happening. So we just bide the time. Right, so what have we got? We've got 13:43. So we've got a minute left until the news kicks in. I think this is Euro news this time. So you can see there, look, as the price went up, it's created a tiny gap, but for me that's not big enough, and it's also straddling the moving averages. Okay, so in this position, if price went up and it went past the red trend line, ideally I'd want it to go up here to consider anything like a significant buy, but I think it's going to do that. Right. Like this. Okay, so if price went past the 200 moving average and the 62 and gave us some clear air, probably cleared all this as well, okay, then we might be on for a bit of a move. So currently right now, if we went above the moving averages, yeah, we've got 44 pips to the pivot, which is pretty nice. This is R1 as well. Yeah, okay. One of the what I'm looking at there is just did price actually hit the pivot line, and it did, obviously, or loads of times. Okay, and just looking at the fact that if it hit the pivot line, then it gives me a bit more confidence that it's going to go to the next pivot. Okay, or that resistance one, R1. Yeah, so it's currently having a little dance around with these moving averages. But you can just see, you know, you put the moving averages on and you sort of say, well, what are they for? Okay, and he doos over time, and you can start to see the price correlation between the different indicators, and you can see what's happening there. And like right now, it's just a resistance. It's a resistance area for price. So nothing really happening on this yet. 13.45. So see what impact it had on the euro. Maybe a little sniff to the upside. So we might look at this again. We may well just give it a second before. What are we on now? 8 seconds left on this time frame. So again, potential buy situation. It's kind of flattened off, so it's kind of why you wait. Okay, you never rush in and go. It's a buy. It's go. Just wait for it. See what the Euro CAD is doing. Yeah, it's just come back on us. Yeah, still waiting. And again, if you lead with emotions, then your emotions tell you get in for just get in, just get in a trade because it's good. It makes you feel good. Okay, yeah, that's until you start losing, and it don't feel good and it feels rubbish. Okay, yeah, I mean this euro, look, it's still dancing around the moving averages. The news hasn't really had an impact. That's quite interesting. Couldn't have been significant news, but then now it's medium impact news. See what it was. All right. There's no details of what it is, so I'm just wondering if. Well, whatever it was, we're looking at the news. So it's starting to go. Okay, so currently 34 seconds on this time frame. We have got resistance here. So again, this is kind of an area of interest or concern, because from where price is right now, we've got 3.5 pips. But when you look at this candle, it's like, yeah, I'm going, and it's like, hang on a minute, I'm not really sure, it turns red, and it's like, yeah, I'm going again. Okay, so what that tells me for the price action is that, you know, price doesn't really have a definitive move. Okay, and sometimes you can just see the moves where it goes, yep, we're ready, let's go, and that's when you get into a trade. So it's just being able to read that. If we get past this area here, then our next point of interest is up here. Again, if we do it conservatively for the buys, if we do it conservatively, which would be somewhere around here, then we've got a nice bit of movement kind of between there and there. All right, and again, depending on the price action, we can either get in before or when we get to this area here, but again, we just got to wait. And again, we're same situation with this. And what we found with this strategy, if you look at if you've ever seen some of the old footage that I did a while ago on different channels, the strategy used to be from 1 p.m. till 3 UK time, and we've noticed, as you can see yesterday, the price can the strategy is still relevant later on, okay, into the late afternoon and sometimes even the early evening. And what you can do in those situations, in those circumstances, is just put a trend line on, put an alert on, and you can just check your phone or come back and check your desktop. I never recommend trading on the phone. I've never liked. Some people think it's great, trade on the phone, but I don't do it. I just keep my desktop on. Again, what we've got there, we've got movement up. Okay, it's gone above the green trend line. Okay, but we've still got resistance with the red. So it's gone above the green. Okay, we've got a tiny bit of a gap. Okay, but it's now straddling the red trend line. So it's still acting as resistance as it pushes through. When it pushes through and we get clear air, then it will act as support. okay, until it gets to this pivot line, and then it acts as resistance, and then we've got clear air, and then boom, we can go. Okay, so just look at everything that's on the chart and never be kind of tempted to just say, well, it's alright, I'll just get in, it'll be okay, it'll be fine. Okay, optimism bias, because you're just gambling, really. When you do that, you're just gambling. You may as well just get your money and go and spend it on sweets or something. Yeah, look, see how it's come through there, it's resisting through there, it's push, it hit the pivot line, which is resistance, and it's bounced off it. So it's nothing on this, not yet. Ooh! Right, so if we went into there, I'd probably be quite happy putting the stop loss here. And then our 1 to 2 is somewhere around there anyway. It's like filling your car with petrol, isn't it? £20 and one. Right, so that looks okay. So this is our area. This is another significant area. So I'm kind of, what's happened is the price action has gone, yep, I'm going. Okay, and it may well just come to there, but the way it's going right now, it looks I'm quite happy that eventually I'll go to the here, and then maybe even go to the next pivot. So this area here could be our take profit 1, and then take profit 2. Okay. So the Wadarata, it went dark green, moving away from the explosion line. It's gone a little bit less. It's gone lighter green, which means it's gone a bit weaker. We're in a wave up. We've got the PSARs a good distance away. We're currently in a wave up. We're above the trend line, and price action looks fairly positive. So we'll just see where we go with this. My only slight concern with this would be the position of a stop loss. Now it is below the moving averages. Okay, it's just below the 200, and in fact it's below all. Okay, so they do offer resistance in this position. However, they might just wick through, but again, too much talking and not enough talking about things. Okay, so we've got a similar situation going on here, so we'll do the same. Go a long position, we'll just get that out of the way for now. So just see, for me now, I'm gonna, this line here, okay, this is the engulfing candle, so this tells us the line is the engulfing candle. So you know, as part of the strategy, you can put your stop loss just slightly below that line. This is 13 pips, is a bit much for me. However, our 1 to 2 ratio is in this clean area. We have got a point of interest here, which we'll look at, but a 1 to 2 is there, which is nice because we've got the pivot line up here as well. Let's go have a quick look at this this point of interest. Okay, well, point of interest might be not that interesting. Right, I'll just let that do its thing for now. See what's going to happen. So I'll go back to the Euro CAD. Yeah, they're both going south, but we'll see. And one of the things as well is you always go in and calculate your lot size. So you are just doing a proper 1-to-2 ratio based on your account size. And what I always say is, you know, sometimes when you're scalping, by the time you've looked at your prices, by the time you've gone to your MT4, by the time you've worked out everything and you've entered it into MT4 or whatever platform you're going to use to put your trades on, the trade's gone, right? And you're going, right, okay, right, oh, okay. And so what you want is a trade manager, okay, for this sort of strategy. And we do a trade manager. We have one that you can access as part of our strategy. So literally, it's just a case of I've put the details in real quick. It'll work out your risk to reward, and it'll do it all for you. And that's what you need. You need that. Okay. So look at the pairs. So GBP CAD. Yeah, we've got a similar situation going on here where we've still got resistance with the pivot line. Okay, so again, we want it to break out into the clear air, ideally above these highs. So it then goes up to the next pivot. Yeah, it's possible, but we'll just have to see and just wait and see what happens with price right now. GBP USD, same situation again. Okay. Well, actually, no, it's a slightly more favourable position. So we're above, obviously we're above the trend line, we're above the red trend line, we're above the pivot. So ideally, this price wants to be going up. This price should be going up. Well, not should be, but if we were to take a long on this, stop loss down to here, about 15 pips, it's quite high. Excuse me. And looking for a 1-to-2. And again, you wouldn't want to be in all these trades because you're going in with the same pairs. Okay, so you've got, we're looking at 3 potentials. Well, let's move this over. Okay, so again, take profit 1. Then you've got, let's have a see what we've got further to the, look on the 15-minute. The previous highs, it's right at a previous high right now. So had I checked that first, I'd have waited until it got above that. But again, that's what you want to be doing. So let's put that on, because this is a very interesting point. So point of interest, if we were going for buys, we'd want it to be away from this area. So again, if we're going for buys up to this area, then we would put it conservative. We'd put it on the bodies, okay? But because what we're doing is we're looking at getting in the trade, we would look at price getting away from these highs, these equal highs there, okay? So a kind of accurate tap would be about there. I'm going to put it a bit higher just to be even more conservative. Just there, I think. So it's broken out of that high, okay, which is a good sign because it's telling me that, you know, price wants to go, but there's that resistance there at that line, kind of around this line. Let's say it's near enough, but the indications look quite good. In terms of the moving averages, we've got the lined up in the right way. So we've got the white here, which is the 5, the 13, the 62 and the 200. They're all in the right position. The Wadaratar is telling us that we're kind of running out of steam, although we can see that because it's gone red. The explosion line is still moving away. PSAR's good distance away. So, you know, and we're also in a wave up, and we've got this series wave candles. They've gone from being quite small and stubby to getting a bit bigger, and a bit bigger. Okay, so it kind of gives us a bit more confirmation. It's giving us confirmations. Okay, but at the same time, if you look at this price, what it's now at the highest high it's been for some time. Okay, and then so we look left on the 15-minute time frame, and we can see now it's equal highs from a few days ago. Which, had I looked at that first, then I would have not got in as a potential trade. It's not a trade right now, but I'm just going through my thought processes. In that price may well want to go up, but check it properly first with previous price action. Just go left and see what happened before, and then just wait. Okay. So what we've got now, got price going up. We've got 30 seconds left on this time frame, and if we then break into new fresh air, okay, without all this going on around here, potentially we could see a nice rise up, okay, to potentially somewhere around this pivot line. But this is our first take profit. So when you've got a situation like this where you've got the clear air, you could look back even further to find out previous price action, previous areas of support and resistance, and then, you know, take profit 1, take profit 2, and so on. But this is a 2-minute time frame, so you don't want to be too ambitious. Just get it to, you know, 2% and then go. In fact, let's just do that. Let's go into the 15-minute. So there's our previous price action there. This takes us back to the 29th of November in the morning. That's as far back as we can go on there. Let's look at the hour. Okay. So that's where we've been looking at for our price, and look where price has been in the past. Okay, so if we look at here, our pivot line is here. That's our take profit 2 is there. Okay, so there is lots of room. So, you know, we just we look at this. We'll take it back to the daily. So on the daily time frame, we've got this downtrend. Okay, it was kind of got all the way down, significant push down. Okay, on the pound US dollar. So the pound has been just dropping out since well, that's July 2014. Crikey, you remember when it was like 1.7? You go away to Florida and you get loads of money. Yeah, those days are gone. So down here, it's just awful. Okay, but anyway, talking about our price, we've got the room. Okay, to go to that area. Okay, so it just gives a bit more confirmation. All I'll do now is find where everything is. Oh, it's here. Okay, there we go. Right, I'll just leave that leave that to simmer for a bit. See what else we've got. Euro CAD. Yeah, so Euro CAD just went up to that previous high there. Okay, so that's all she wrote on that. I mean, if we were to take that as a sort of take profit level, you know, somewhere down here, for example, you're still looking at 14-15 pips, still pretty decent. You wouldn't make your 2%, but you're still making profits. Okay, and sometimes when you're scalping, the psychology of scalping is just get in, get out, get in, get out. Okay, and a lot of scalpers, you know, when they get in trades, they get all, you know, sweaty and start panicking and they want to get out of trade, and you get the longer term traders, and we've got a strategy called relax, where you get in for as long as you need, and it's all nice and relaxed. Yeah, we'll get in, we'll stay in for a few days, maybe a week, maybe a few weeks, and you know, it's whatever you trade as, whatever your strategy is. Okay, but I know a lot of scalpers would have got into this and then got out at these highs here. Okay, and to be fair, probably the actual take profit should have been around there, but that doesn't give us 1 to 2. But anyway, we'll see. This is the same. So on the euro, so again taking profits around this area of interest. GBP CAD. That's still just bombing around doing its thing. Crikey, we've been on an hour and 12. So again, this strategy will be relevant until the early evening. Okay, so what you can do, you can set alerts. You can put trend lines on and just set alerts on there. I mean, if we were to say, have a look at the pivot line. Okay, you can put a ray on, say, for example. Okay, hit the timer. Okay, when the price is moving down, let me know, please. And you can put any message you want here. Okay, you can go and check it out. Okay, hit create. Okay, so from there, when the price comes down to this area, okay, I'll get an alert and come and see what's happening. If you've got the free account, you can think you're limited to like 1 or 2 alerts on the free. You can, I think it's unlimited on the pro, but you don't want loads of alerts going off. You only want 1 or 2. Okay, we'll just get rid of that. Right, so let's have a quick look and see what's happening. So we've got move to the downside. This is stopped us out. Although we didn't really get in the trade, it was just a case of let's see where things might go, and it's gone down to that pivot line. So again, that pivot line offering resistance. So yeah, so again, a good area for potential stop losses. Okay, but again, we're at 11 pips. So if we took it down to there, we're now looking at 14-15 pips, and the only reason it's that much is because we weren't really paying attention to the trade at the time. Okay, I was talking too much. This is kind of going, but it's, you know, it may well. Sometimes you get the push, then you get a retrace and a test and a retrace and then a push. Okay, that's what could be happening here. Okay, this is an area of interest, as I said before, from previous highs, and I think price might just struggle around that area before doing whatever it does. Okay, but you know, we've got our metrics, our numbers punched in. So that's all good. CAD, GBP CAD. This is kind of going sideways really from this area here. Not much volume, and GBP USD. Yeah, just doing the same thing really as euro. Okay, good. Right, we'll call it a day at that. It's we've been on an hour and 15, so I hope you got some value from that. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, then please consider hitting the subscribe button just at the bottom corner there. You can click that. And if you got some value from this or any of the videos, give us a thumbs up. Really appreciate it, and it just goes into making more videos just like this. And yeah, if you want any if you've got any questions about anything, if you want to know anything, if you're anything you're not sure about, and there is always things that people aren't sure about. This is trading. It's a long-term educational process, and sometimes we get it right, sometimes we get it wrong, and we just got to, you know, keep doing the charts and just keep practicing day after day after day. But if you've got a question, please feel free to reach out, put a comment below. All my contact details are here. You'll see my text message or my text number here. If you want to text me, then you can do that as well. But the best way to get a hold of me is drop me a comment or drop me an email, and you can see the details below. All right, we'll talk soon. Bye for now.